talk about mixed. Here we go. New Mutants trailer.
That was one hell of
the segue king here.
Talking about bisexual. Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another movie talk show, as if there weren't enough already. Today we're in a bit of a pickle because we don't know what to talk about. We've been trying to come up with a show for a whole week.
Yeah.
We have exactly one story. So we'll see how this goes. We'll freestyle it. But before anything, I'd like to dedicate this show to the memory of Mr. Leahy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You don't have a drink, but we can still hold up his drink. I didn't have any Mike's Hard this time. This is literally the only thing I had, so I'm just going to take it.
Fuck that.
So rest in peace, Mr. Leahy, you bastard.
Fucking Leahy.
I do love that guy, though.
For John Dunsworth, my boy.
Yeah, man. Trailer Park Boys will never be the same.
No. Well,
we still got Randy, though.
Fucking Randy. His gay lover. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess on that sad note,
let's talk about comic book movies and Star Wars. Behind the scenes photo of Han Solo movie.
No,
Solo, a Han Solo Star Wars story, I think, or something.
Yeah, no. That was just announced.
I thought for sure it was going to be a smuggler's tale.
And
a Star Wars story.
Yeah,
we're not talking about that. We're not talking about
well, I guess we'll move on to Star Trek Discovery now.
Okay.
Which is the inferior Star Trek show on now. It
is, clearly. I mean, you can say what you want. It's inferior to the Orville, hands down.
Because that episode 4, it was kind of boring. I didn't really care for it.
No, it was really boring.
But then episode 5 happens, and it's not amazing, but I actually quite enjoyed this episode quite a bit. Particularly Lorca. Lorca is quickly becoming one of my favorites. He's a fucking G.
I wouldn't say I enjoyed the episode. I like, to me it was just like a mediocre Star Trek episode. Like, if you take this episode and put it in Deep Space Nine, it's like one of those really generic kind of meh episodes that aren't not bad by any means, but the thing is, it was just nice to get one that wasn't totally boring this time. Like, it felt more episodic. Like, it felt like it was more of a standalone episode, which is the type of thing I prefer for Star Trek, even though I'm not against them doing a serialized show. So I kind of liked it for that. Lorca was great in this episode. But the rest of it was kind of mediocre or sort of generic to me. Just, the captain's kidnapped, and it's kind of that basic sort of story. Everything happening on the ship, I thought there was potentially good ideas out of that, but it wasn't very well written, in my opinion. Like, the moral dilemma that they were, going for was not handled in the best way I think it could have been. But yeah, Lorca's a great character. I think if we got a full series with him spanning 7 seasons, I think he could honestly be one of the best captains, or at least one of the most interesting captains.
Well, I mean, yeah, right now he's one of the most interesting.
He has potential to be better. He's already better than Archer, in my opinion. At least so far. I like Archer, but yeah, he's more interesting than Archer. Yeah. He's not quite yet, but like, if we see him in more and he's more awesome, he could beat out Janeway. And then he honestly could get this Cisco's level for me in the ranking, because he's a great character. Like, he's fucking shady and
he's shady.
A piece of shit, but like, he's still.
But you can also understand where he's coming from.
He's one of those guys who will use the most slimy fucking tactics for the right reason.
Exactly.
Like, he will bend morals and break arms to get what he needs. And usually what he wants to get done is a good end goal.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, in the end, he wants to win the war. Mm-hmm. That's his ultimate goal. But he's kind of looked at as a fucking psychopath because of the lengths he'll go to achieve that.
In this episode, it almost felt like Saru was the fucking psychopath. Like,
your boy.
I don't know what the fuck was happening with that character. Like, I used to like Saru. I still think there's potential in the character, but he hasn't been working to me, like, so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just comes off kind of as a jealous baby.
Yeah, he's a jealous baby, and like, the whole shit with him being an alien, it doesn't even. They're not doing enough with like his species.
He kind of just shows up and he looks cool, and he's just jealous, and it's I mean, I can understand like some of the things where he comes from. Like I can understand he doesn't want the guilt that Burnham has with the captain. He wants to go save Lorca because he already seen this with Georgina or whatever, or Georgino or whatever. But still, he just seems like kind of a baby a little bit. Like, you know, well, I guess because he also feels pissed off that Burnham got this opportunity and he didn't. And I guess now that he has the opportunity, he doesn't want to fuck it up. But I don't get why he'd want to like torture that.
That seems so un-Starfleet to me.
Yeah,
where it's like you don't fucking take an alien life form, fucking torture it to save one guy. That's not something Starfleet would do. I don't give a shit because it's like the whole point of it was like we're peaceful explorers, right? Like we're going out to the universe and we're trying to find life. In a positive sense, you know, we're trying to find what's out there, and we have ethics, and we're not fucking crazy barbarians they don't know anything about this species. As far as they know, remember in the original series when they find that the rock monster, and they're like, oh, it could actually be a very intelligent being that's super smart. Yeah, like they don't judge the fucking. Species just because they aren't speaking or they're not. You know, it seems so un-Starfleet. And the fact Saru was so against even having the ethical debate, it's like, fuck this guy. Yeah. Like, it kind of feels like the writers, to an extent, it's not that they don't understand Star Trek, it's that they're not upholding the key elements of like the initial concept of Star Trek. Because it is about, we're a group of explorers that are trying to... And then, I'm not saying it needs to be an exploration show. Well, yeah. It's fine if it's a war show. Yeah. But what made Deep Space Nine a great war show is that Deep Space Nine was taking those principles and they were testing them. It's like, how does Starfleet's, perfect, holier-than-thou attitude work under a war scenario? And that was really what Deep Space Nine was about. This doesn't feel like it's doing that. It just feels like it's not handling those sort of dilemmas in a very interesting way, where at the end it almost seems like they're painting it like Saru did the right thing. Yeah. So that was my issue with it.
Yeah, I get that, but I think the whole dilemma comes from the fact that they're tackling animal torture and animal testing.
Which it was great to finally get a social commentary thing in a new episode of Star Trek, because the first four really didn't have that at all. Yeah. And so it was great because that's a big part of Star Trek is it's supposed to comment on things that we're dealing with now. It's about ethics and questioning those ethics. And there's been tons of episodes of Star Trek that are about when is something sentient, when does something deserve rights? Like, do you give rights to androids and holograms, or that like I'm sure that you can find episodes where they've done this exact dilemma before. But it was just great to have something like that, even though it wasn't written that well, in my opinion. But the stuff with Lorca was really good. Him with the Klingons. With Harry Mudd. I still don't like the Klingons. Like, it's just the fucking xenomorph heads. Like, I don't get it. It's just, there's no need to do that. But you know what? I'll try my best to ignore it and just go with it, because I know it's.
Well, at least there was less of them in this episode. Yeah. For you, I mean, I just tend to not really notice it. I'm just trying to focus in and forget that shit. But yeah, I mean, I like a lot of that stuff where he's on the ship.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
He's talking about his past, about how he had to blow up a ship.
Yeah, see, Lorca's great. I want more of Lorca.
Yeah, because that showed because before he was just a psychopath, and now he's a psychopath, but you could tell he's trying to do good.
Yeah, well, he's actually an interesting character.
He's an interesting character. Yeah. And
that's the thing. No other characters, even our lead, Michael, who's not terrible. She's fine. Yeah. But she's not a particularly interesting character.
Jason Isaacs acts circles around literally everyone
in the show. Like, why isn't he the fucking main character? It doesn't make any sense. And
sadly, he's probably going to die soon.
Oh, yeah, because we have to be edgy in Game of Thrones, so we're going to kill everyone off.
They even said that.
Yeah, no, he's going to die. Last episode, he'll die. For sure.
But I guess we also got our first introduction to swears or fuck in Star Trek.
Fuck.
They said fuck twice in this episode.
I don't really care
which
about that.
I thought was cool. I thought that was okay.
Yeah.
And there's people flipping out. It's like, why?
It's not Star Trek-like.
Like, are you kidding me?
How is that not Star Trek-like?
What? People exclaiming excitement. Like, fuck, yeah, we did it.
Yeah, why have we decided that this word is magical to begin with? Like,
yeah, I know. Like, even in today's day.
I know, I don't get it.
I mean,
fuckity fuck.
Because now they're showing in a Star Trek show that they're beyond swear words. They're
like Star Trek beyond swear words, yeah.
What? Wow.
That was some clever Eminem wordplay right there.
Wow. Laptop in my pocket.
I know, exactly. Like
Bruce Lee of loose leaf.
The Bruce Lee of loose leaf. No, they yeah, I mean, I guess they're not fully beyond swear words because the guy at first was like, "What did you say?" And she's like, "Sorry," and he's like, "No, it was fucking cool."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that character who's been a fucking mess too. Like he was.
I know.
He was a fucking dick. But there could be maybe an explanation with
Mirror
the end of the
Universe,
episode, which is a mirror
universe.
universe.
Oh my god! No, okay, I do believe it's a reference to the mirror universe, but it doesn't make any sense at the same time yet.
Yeah,
it's the first time I saw that, I'm like, did the writers of this show just really not watch Star Trek ever, and they literally think the mirror universe is a universe inside a mirror? Is that what they just read it? Like Star Trek references we can do in the mirror universe. Oh, it's a universe inside a mirror. But if it is indicating the mirror universe, as we do know that they will eventually go to, that's cool. I'm fucking super looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, it was a cool shot for sure.
Yeah, it was also cool that we got stroked off a bit as fans in this episode.
Yeah, you know, Captain Archer, Pike.
Captain Archer got a reference, and we also got to see Mud, and
that's right.
You know, so like all the references have been nice. They've been kind of normie, very basic references. Like, look, there's a Tribble.
Yeah,
you know Tribbles.
The Gorn.
You know the Gorn, but it's something a little bit more, you know, obscure would be cool. But it's like, you know, whatever. It's cool that we got a reference to Enterprise. Yeah, that's cool. And, should we talk about the big rainbow elephant in the room with the homos?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I don't know why it hadn't happened previously. Like,
I've always said that it did happen previously.
I guess
that's been.
Space Nine.
You know, I'm fucking strong about this point. Is that Star Trek has already had a gay couple, and not just in Star Trek Beyond, but on TV. Clearly, in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, in the episode Rejoined, there is a clear lesbian relationship.
Yeah, between
Dax. Dax is a lesbian. Okay, you can say that. Oh, her symbiont is not. She doesn't have a gender because it goes from body to body. I call bullshit because what is a gender? I mean, this is opening a fucking crazy can of worms. What is gender?
Political talk.
But let's say biologically, all you know, Tumblr people, is your body. It's like, you know, you could say that my gender identity is something different, but you know, you're male or female depending on your chromosomes and your biology. That is what makes you a female, right? So even though her symbiont was in something else, she's still a female biologically, correct? Yeah. She is. That's undeniable. She's a female. She's in a female body. And she was in a relationship with another female who's in a female body.
Yeah. Well, then you could also say that
they're lesbians.
They already did it in TNG with the Outcast because they don't have a specific gender, even though she identified as a female.
Yeah, but they're still genderless, you know. Like so. No, I've always said that the DS9 episode is undeniably a lesbian relationship. Okay. Dax is a lesbian. Or at least a bisexual.
Yelling that at the camera.
They kissed.
Lesbian.
No, but they kissed. That means that there's a clear, like, kind of attraction, right? So no, fuck you. Deep Space Nine did it first.
Yeah, honestly.
No, okay. All bullshit aside,
whatever.
It's great that they did this.
Yes.
Okay, you could say SJW. Why are they showing gay people? You know, but it's like fuck you, man.
Star Trek.
It's cool. Let's show the gays, man. Let's have them on. Everyone can have a party with Star Trek.
I know. It's like, come on. Like it's an interracial gay couple. Like, come on.
Yeah, dude, that's edgy. Man.
the most
edgy.
Star Trek thing ever.
Interracial gay couple, man.
Exactly.
Cool. They didn't kiss, but you know what? It was fucking cool.
I thought they did, because everybody was like blowing up, because I hadn't seen the episode till yesterday, and everybody was blowing up, and I'm like, wait, did they kiss? And
no.
It's like, no, they just pat each other on the back.
Yeah, they just patted each other on the back and acted kind of flirty and gay, you know? And
it's like, okay, wow. I'm okay with this, obviously.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
I think it's cool, like, whatever. I mean, I do think people, now that it's happened, I think we can, you know, not freak out every time there's a little gayness on it.
Exactly.
Because who the fuck cares? I mean, my attitude has always been, as long as no one's butt fucking me, I don't give a shit, you know? Whatever. As Kevin Smith says, I'm one cock in the mouth shy of being gay myself, you know?
Jadzia Dax is gay!
She's a lesbian! You people make me sick!
Gay Zulu!
Sulu and Dax are gay! End of discussion!
Star Trek already did it! Outcast! Alright, well, I guess after that passionate gay discussion...
Yeah, let's turn down the gay dial tone a little bit. A little less gay, you know?
And by gay, I don't mean interrogatory, I mean happy. Because I was very happy with that Star Trek episode. And the Orville episode.
I was
very happy.
I was more bisexual with that episode, you know? I was kind of a bit mixed on that.
Talk about mixed. Here we go. New Mutants trailer.
Oh, God. That was one hell of
the segue king here.
Talking about bisexual.
Talking about mixed, we got New Mutants, my boys. So, yeah. So I don't know anything about the New Mutants, but I certainly love X-Men. I love the
We're both X-Men
books,
fan, yeah.
But more specifically, we grew up with the movies.
Yeah.
And these movies are fucking awesome. Like, most of them are fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, the X-Men franchise, we both grew up with it. Literally because, like, we're pretty young, at least compared to, like, a lot of people on YouTube. So, we were kind of... We literally grew up. We're, like, the first X-Men movies were coming out around the time we were born. So,
right around
we literally kind of grew up with this franchise. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it was kind of, you know, I watched them all, exactly. And I loved them. And I'm just, again, I don't know anything about the New Mutants. I have read X-Men comics. Like, when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of comics and stuff I got at garage sales. I don't consistently anymore, but I still am a fan of the franchise and those movies. Yeah. I don't know much about the New Mutants, but I'm, just from the trailer, excited about it because... it really does seem like Fox has taken the X-Men franchise in an interesting direction, and a direction that I feel is really refreshing.
Different.
Yeah, in the landscape of the superhero movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is Fox has always been really, really good about this because I mean, even with the first X-Men films, like they were more just genre-breaking movies where they finally established superhero movies, but they also always had that social commentary element.
Yeah, to it. With more gays in them.
Exactly. Yeah, so they've always made different kind of movies.
Yeah.
Like they made social commentary, science fiction movies, and then with First Class they made a period piece science fiction movie, and then Days of Future Past, obviously.
The first scene of the first movie is the fucking Holocaust.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, this franchise has always taken risks, you know.
And then especially recently where
Deadpool
Logan and Deadpool, like they made a literal R-rated comedy and then a Western drama, and now they're coming out with a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, and Logan is a movie that we both. Just to say that we loved it is
an understatement.
Like, it's both one of our favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we both fucking loved that movie. And that movie really got me excited about the X-Men franchise again.
Exactly. Like, where they could take things. And then, with this, like, this just shocked me more than anything. Like, it's not a fantastic trailer. Like, it does feel
a little
cheesy.
Yeah, it was a little cheesy.
But... at the same time, like, it's just shocking seeing something so different. Because, like, they're in an asylum and it's, like, serious and they're getting tortured.
What's funny is we kind of...
It's like, what the fuck?
We kind of brought this up months ago, remember? Like, we were talking one time and we were just like, they should do something totally different. Like, they should make, like, a horror movie or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're doing that. They're making an X-Men horror movie. At least that's what it seems. This is what the comic book genre needs. Is you can make different types of films in the comic book genre. I mean, to be fair... M. Night Shyamalan already kind of did it with Split, doing a horror comic book movie, but it's cool that in an X-Men franchise, in like a mainstream comic book franchise,
at Fox,
they are doing a different type of movie, and it's cool that that's what they're doing.
They keep doing different types of movies, and apparently one of the journalists has heard from the Fox rep that's what they're trying to do, is every movie they make, they're trying to make it different, where it's not like a stock, Marvel action movie. Like, listen, I like most of the Marvel movies. I really like probably 2 or 3 of the Marvel movies, but you can't deny the fact that they all feel the same. Like, by the end, you just watched an action film. But with these movies, like particularly Logan, like that's a Western drama. It's hardcore, man.
And it's a fucking masterpiece too.
And it is.
With the Marvel movies, I think they're entertaining films. Most of them. I mean,
Yeah.
the vast majority of them are good. I don't think many of them are great films. There's maybe like one or two that I think are genuinely really good. And I'm kind of sick of it at this point. We've always called it the McDonald's cinematic universe because it does kind of feel like, you know, it's sort of cheap and kind of,
well, I mean, they're
samey.
They're not cheap.
They're not cheap. They're well made, but it's like it's kind of samey and it's sort of very generic and safe and kind of made to appeal to a very wide amount of people. Yeah. So it's just cool that we're finally getting movies in this genre with the Fox X-Men franchise that are kind of breaking that mold a little bit. And, you know, doing something refreshing from this genre that hasn't changed since Nolan did the Dark Knight series, you know?
Like, I mean, it's just nuts to me. Like, I know I keep bringing it up, but I mean, you had an R-rated comedy as a superhero movie. You had a fucking Western drama, and now you have a horror movie. Like, it just blows my mind that we're getting these kind of movies.
I know, because it's been so long of just like, oh, what, another comic book movie?
Because we got Guardians, which was like a sci-fi, like, comedy action thing, like the other Guardians, and like Thor is probably going to be, and then we got Spider-Man, which was the same movie.
Yeah, the same. Every single MCU movie is just like a comedy action thing.
Exactly. And they're making harder, more serious.
And again, they're fun. They are fun movies. Most of them we go to see pretty much all of them. Like,
we can't be hypocrites when it comes to that. Like Black Panther, we shit on at the beginning.
Well,
we're still gonna see it.
I always tell myself, "Oh, I'm not gonna see it. I'm fucking edgy," but I always cave. You're just like, oh. I always cave. So I ain't even gonna fucking front on that one.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's still cool, man. Like, fuck yeah. Like, let's do this. Like, let's change it up. I'm not saying they should just go and search up movie genres and just
I know. We're not saying Marvel should make a R-rated horror film where Iron Man gets his head ripped off or something like that. Like, we're not saying that.
But doing something a little bit
different, like killing off a character.
The problem with the Marvel movies is they all kind of feel like, instead of all being different movies, they feel like different episodes of the same TV show.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it feels the exact same, visual style's the same, the characters are the same. Everything is the same. The tone is the same. But it's just like they're technically different movies. And it just doesn't feel like they're distinct in any way. Mm-hmm. I like getting distinct movies. And that's what Fox has been doing. So
yeah, recently. Like, particularly... Well, I mean, even going back to the Wolverine, like, they made a kind of pseudo samurai movie. And then... But it obviously got bogged down by the end with the superhero stuff.
When the studio came in. But hey, like...
But recently, particularly, like...
with the last two of them.
But another question I had going into this one is, do you think that this movie is set in the 80s time period, or do you think this is post Logan? Because originally they had a cameo scene with McAvoy and they cut it. So do you think retroactively after Logan they set this after Logan? Like, because they were supposed to have James McAvoy have a cameo and then they cut it.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what time period?
Like, is this...
I think this might be after X-Men Apocalypse, but before.
Yeah,
I think this might be in the rebooted,
like the
franchise.
80s and 90s, kind of. Like,
yeah, I think that's possible, or it might be after Logan. I don't.
Well, because
I need more information. It could be in either.
Well, because that's the thing. Like, it doesn't look like they're wearing 80s clothes. Like, it looks like they're wearing modern clothes.
It might be after Logan, actually.
And this could be Eden, and then the very end of the movie could be Laura arrives. The mutants break out.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what it is. That's what it is.
Maybe.
I think this is a secret sequel to Logan. Honestly,
it could be. Well, not a direct.
Well, no, not a sequel.
Yeah,
but
just a continuation.
It's like split to Unbreakable. Exactly. It'll be like that, in my opinion.
Because when I heard about that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, McAvoy was supposed to be in this movie. And then I was thinking, like, why did they cut him? And then it's like, oh, it looks like they're wearing modern day clothes. Yeah. They look like they're in this supposed Eden or whatever.
That was talked about in Logan. Yeah.
You know, that they've gone to shit. Like, this Eden place has gone to shit or whatever.
You know, that makes sense.
And then Laura arrives, and then the New Mutants break out, and that's probably the post-credit scene or the very end of the movie.
Yeah, we'll predict that right here. We'll make that prediction right here. I think that's probably...
Yeah, I've studied X-Men and Logan. I've studied these fucking movies way too much. Yeah. So that's how I came to that conclusion.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's probably it.
Well, yeah, because it was originally supposed to be 80s, but then I looked at their clothes and I'm like, that's not 80s. Like, this doesn't look 80s at all. Yeah. Or 90s even. So I guess that's it for New Mutants. we're very happy with the direction Fox is going.
Thank you, Fox. You know?
Yeah, they're making different movies. And for all you fucking crybabies that say, sell it back to Marvel, go fuck yourself. They would never make a Deadpool movie or a Logan movie like that, ever. Ever.
I know.
They would never make a new movie like
go
this.
Fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Go watch your Spider-Man 3000 or Avengers Infinity War Part 6 that we're still going to probably go see and buy.
IMAX.
I don't know what my point is here.
Gonna see it on IMAX.
I still watch them, but I'd like a little bit of variety, you know?
Well, I'm just saying fuck you to all the people that, like Mundane Matt, like I'm calling you out, Mundane.
We're calling you out, boy.
We're calling you out because you were saying, you know, I really wish that Marvel would just sell all these properties back. And it's like, no.
Why?
Because you wouldn't get Logan. You wouldn't get even Deadpool.
Logan wouldn't exist.
You'd have a PG-13 Deadpool. That'd just be the shits.
It'd be basically Spider-Man Homecoming.
Exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't get Logan.
I don't know, so fuck you, Mundane Matt, Mr. Al from Al's Toy Barn looking.
Just calling him out.
No, that's too mean.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, but I do mean it. Like, all you crybabies that are pissed off that X-Men is still at Fox, they are making it worth it now. Like, they are showing you...
They deserve to not be Marvel.
Segue to Pennywise, our boy. Time for an It movie discussion.
It...
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about this movie and we never got around to it. Yeah. And so, we're going to talk about the second one, but mainly talk about the first one.
We'll talk about the first, and then we'll talk about the potentiality for the second one.
Yeah, mainly we want to make this, since everyone's already talked to death about the first movie. Yeah. We wanted to kind of make this more of a discussion about the second movie and going forward, but we still wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I guess we'll start off by chatting about it in general. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first thing that obviously is the book, the Stephen King novel.
1,000-page fucking mammoth.
I don't read. I'm not a reader. But I did listen to the audiobook in preparation for this movie. Okay. I listened to the entire thing, and I really fucking loved the book. I think it's definitely strange, and it has some very weird things in it. But it's a fucking lot of fun, and it's very in depth, and it's a really good book. Like it's a good time for sure. If you can stomach it and get through the entire thing, it's definitely a fucking awesome book.
It's certainly a long haul. I'm like 230 pages in still.
Yeah.
I did listen to the audiobook because every time I try to read, I think back to how awesome that audiobook guy is.
Yeah.
So then I just haven't got around to getting back to reading it yet.
Yeah, no, I power fucked through the whole thing in like a few weeks, and I really did like the book.
Yeah, I mean, especially hearing how fucked up he gets at the end. Like, I'm kind of at the part right now where they're still setting things up, or they just moved past setting things up. So I'm excited to read the rest of the book. Mm-hmm. But then I guess after Stephen King's coke-infused book
ramblings,
we got our boy Tim Curry, who is supposed to be the Joker. Fun fact. Instead of Hamill.
That's
instead
interesting.
Of
Hamill. Wow. That could have worked, honestly.
He got to play his own type of clown in live action.
So, this movie is not good for the most part.
Miniseries, technically.
Yeah, the miniseries, it's not great. Half of it is bad.
The first half is okay, and then the second half is just garbage. Like, I just hate the second half of this stuff so much.
That's fair. I mean,
it's just awful.
Here's the thing. I have a lot of fondness for this movie because it was literally the first horror movie I ever saw.
Oh, Jesus.
My dad one night, we had our cousin over, and my dad said, "What's a horror movie we could show them that would still be enough to scare them but isn't too hardcore?" And my cousins had said, "Got just the movie for you," and we watched it. And at that time, it left a big impression on me. Like, I really loved it, and it was like, it wasn't necessarily a scary movie to me, but it was like, it just had something to it. It was like, because I had never seen a movie that was horror before, so it was like I was experiencing a new type of thing, And so I do have a lot of fondness for the movie. I rewatched it after I read the book. I finished the entire book, the audiobook, and then I watched the movie in comparison. And I think having read the book kind of elevated my second viewing of that movie, because I had just, felt all the emotions and stuff. Because since the book is so long, you spend so much time with these characters. Yeah. By the end, you are kind of emotionally invested in all the Losers Club characters.
Yeah.
So I feel like it really elevated that movie, and even the second half more than it deserved. Where I'm like, I like the characters from having read the book, so I kind of see it as like I'm watching those characters. And so I don't think the second half of the miniseries is good. Is bad. The ending is atrocious, like atrocious.
Yeah.
It looks like a Power Rangers episode. It's just bad.
I saw it for the first time earlier this year, and it was just like there was like it was just
the first half is fine though. Like
the first half's okay. It's like Stand By Me light with a clown.
It's Stand By Me with a killer clown,
and it's cool. Like the first half's kind of cool, and then the second half is just.
Because all the kid actors were actually good.
Yeah, I know. They were way better than the adult actors.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, which is the adult actors were bad, man.
And then Tim Curry obviously
was great. Yeah, he was hilarious. Even when he wasn't scary, he was funny as hell.
Yeah, no, he was definitely.
We meme out Prince Albert in a can all the time.
I mean, come on.
You just can't beat it. It's too funny.
Come on.
Okay, so then they announced that they're doing this movie. They released a few trailers, and I didn't really like the trailers. I thought the movie was going to suck. I was the one...
And you were the one asshole
looking
in the
back,
crowd.
I don't think my feelings were unjustified if you go back and watch those trailers.
I like the
They
trailers.
do seem pretty oogly boogly.
I thought the trailers were alright. I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the You'll Float 2 remix was atrocious.
Yeah, no, that's what I hated is the You'll Float 2! You'll Float 2!
Like that song, that remix was just atrocious.
Yeah, it's like some trap, like, You'll Float 2!
Oh, God.
So stupid. God.
But, I don't know, I thought some of the images were interesting. And then to start off, Cary Fukunaga was supposed to direct it, your boy. And then they kicked him off because I guess he wanted to do something, I don't know, like they just didn't like his direction. And I know that worried you a lot.
Well, no, what worried me is he came out afterwards with an interview and said, I was trying to make a different type of movie. They just wanted me to make a jump scare movie. They didn't want characters. They wanted archetypes and scares. He said something to that effect. And that mixed in with the trailers and the You'll Float 2 and the jump scares. I'm like, at the end with Pennywise, like, I'm like, oh, it looks so fucking bad. It's so stupid. And that mixed in with what Fukunaga said made me very pessimistic about the movie.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if this
I was very into it in the trailers, but it was very shocking because then the movie comes out and we hear all this amazing word of mouth. Like everybody's losing it.
The movie was really getting sucked off. Like people were loving it.
Yeah,
and
everybody loved this.
I was willing to say, okay, maybe I was wrong because like I wasn't rooting for the movie's failure.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's not like I wanted it to be bad. I wanted it to be good.
Exactly.
And so we saw it opening weekend.
Yeah, opening night. Or
was it opening night?
Yeah, I think it was opening.
Yeah. Okay. So we saw it very early. And I fucking really loved it. Actually, it was really fucking good. I was proven wrong as soon as little Georgie got his fucking arm ripped off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
As soon as that scene happened, I was like, okay, they're going balls out with this.
Because I think we saw Annabelle a few weeks
earlier.
Yeah,
we did.
And they had the Georgie 2-minute dialogue.
They showed that opening, which I didn't want to see, but it kind of made me a little like, that performance isn't as bad.
Yeah, it made me a lot more excited. And then we see that scene again, and then he gets his fucking arm ripped off, and you like,
see,
my good
God.
And
so as soon as, and then with the arm coming out and pulling him in, I was like, this is.
Like, oh my God, this is different.
I mean, I don't want to be like, that was awesome. So this little kid got his arm ripped off, but it was like, it was cool that they went there.
Shocking.
Yeah, that they went there. And so from that point on, I was pretty down with the movie.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess we should talk about the stuff we liked about it, because the movie's, it does have problems. I don't think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. Just to get off, I think this movie fucking, like you said, it's fucking awesome. Like, this is probably one of the best horror movies over the past few years. Easily.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Okay, so the first time I saw this movie, I had virtually no issues. I thought some of the effects looked a little, I don't know about that one, but for the most part, I pretty much loved everything about the movie. So I saw it again in theaters, and I noticed some problems that I didn't have the first time, where I do think this movie has a lot of awkward moments, and I think there's a lot of kind of dumb scenes, or at least a few. One example is they do the fucking stupid cliche, that one scene where Bill is fucking looking off into the distance and he sees Beverly. They literally did the slow motion cheesy music in the background and have like shots of him looking all like, wow. They did that scene, and I'm like, that's stupid. That's so cliche. Like that's like that's something comedy movies do for cliche. And then they have fucking that stupid scene where the kids like voice slows down during the rock fight, like fuck you.
Yeah.
And then they had like the fucking just scenes like that, and like the whole New Kids on the Block thing, where like for no reason the music starts playing in the poster. I'm like, okay, there's some really fucking weird.
Well, I mean, like again, that didn't bug me
so
much.
Yeah, they're not. It's not a massive.
Like even the rock
problem.
fight, it's like I agree, but like it doesn't really affect.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not like a major fucking issue.
Yeah.
But it's mostly like all those things sort of stacked up, where it's like there's a bunch of little moments of like, that was kind of weird. Like,
okay,
I don't know about that, but that's not really major. My only major complaint is there are a couple scares that I thought were a little bit try hard, where it seems you're kind of going a little bit overboard with that one, where you're trying woo like every time Pennywise runs up to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was also a lot of great scares. Most of them were pretty well handled. Yeah. I'm not someone who really gets scared with movies. Like I wish I did, but I'm not scared by most movies. And although this one didn't scare me, it at least had scenes that I thought were well constructed as far as scares.
The first time I saw this movie, I thought that the second half was way better than the first half. I saw it again, and that went away a little bit, but I still think the second half's a lot better.
Yeah, as it should be.
The first half is still pretty good, but yeah, you're right. There are a few scare scenes, like with the those zombie things. Like, I'm just like, it's just not scary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a couple try-hard moments where it's like, this is kind of.
But again, like,
not
I think
working.
in the grand scheme of things, I forget about those scenes a lot more, like with the zombies and whatever. And then our boys kind of carry the first half, like Richie and Bill and Ben, like Beverly. They all carry that first half, and then they get to Pennywise's house, and that's one of my favorite scenes I've seen in a long time. Like, that
was great.
That scene is so fucking awesome, and it's like the first time in the movie Pennywise really gets to perform a little bit. He's like, "Is this not real enough for you, Billy?"
Yeah, no.
And you're like, "Oh my!" Like, I'm
you,
fucking.
You
scared
realize
of this guy.
that he is great. Like, once he really unleashes, you're like, "Yeah, this version of Pennywise is great."
Because there's that scene where he has the balloons, and he's like, "You want a balloon, Eddie?" And I'm like, "God, this guy is fucking scary."
Yeah.
And then they get to his house, and it's like, this is awesome. Like, this is like an amazing action scene in an amazing action movie.
Yeah.
And it's a horror movie, and then it doesn't stop there. Then they go to his lair and they have a confrontation with him.
Yeah, all that stuff was wonderful.
It's awesome.
So good.
Particularly Pennywise. He was the biggest
Bill
red flag.
Yeah.
He was the biggest red flag going into a lot of people. Like, can he live up to Tim Curry? And I thought he did, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Curry in the context of his movie, I think, made a huge fucking impact. So I don't think you can really compare the two because tonally they're different.
They're different. He's certainly a lot scarier. He's not.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not as funny.
It's it was a different tone, but yeah, he was great. Bill Skarsgård was amazing. All those scenes were wonderful. I thought really the best thing about it was the Losers Club. I thought they were all very good. And yeah, like it was the Losers Club and Pennywise. Those were the two things they needed to get down, and they did.
Absolutely did.
They for sure did. It was just very well casted. You could argue that there were certain characters that they didn't go into as much.
Oh, yeah, it's the same as the novel.
I mean, Stanley didn't really have much to do with
He's
the
really
novel.
Just the Jewish kid who is pressured to do better.
You know, they're all archetypes, but it was fine. They're kind of supposed to
Even
be.
Mike is kind of the token black guy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many movies since kind of take on those archetypes, and and do that. But it was kind of one of the first ones.
Yeah.
So like, is it kind of Stranger Things? Yes, but Stranger Things was
inspired by
it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the original in a sense, you know.
Exactly.
So I didn't mind them all being archetypes because the performances were good. All the characters were very likable. From the novel, they did change around some of the characters and like what they do. Mike had a lot more to do in the novel.
Yeah, they kind of gave that to Ben. I think.
Because in the novel, Mike is the one who was all obsessed with like dairy history and stuff. But in this one, they gave it to Ben,
which makes sense because he's the bookworm. He's in the library. He should be.
No, that does make sense.
He should have some type.
That does make sense. But what that does is it takes the one thing that Mike was doing in the book and now it just makes Mike the token black. But Bill was great. I really loved his story with, having lost his brother and how he's dealing with that.
Yeah, exactly.
He gives the movie depth because that's kind of what it's...
He's not dead, he's lost.
Yeah, that whole thing. That stuff was heartbreaking, because you see that actually
especially
happen,
by the end where he shoots him and you're like, wait, is that the Georgie? And then you're
like,
no, it's obviously Pennywise.
Because to me, the book and the miniseries, what the whole franchise is about is... letting go of things that happened to you in the past, basically. Like, learning how to deal with things and move on.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's, like, their childhood trauma, right?
Yeah.
And them confronting him is, like, them facing something that happened to them in the past again. And that is kind of paralleled between Beverly and her abuse and her moving on from that and Bill and his brother. Yeah. And that's what the thing's about. And it was cool that they set the stage for that. And they had a great dramatic story about a kid having lost his little brother. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed his character. Ben was funny.
I loved
even though I thought there was a couple cringy scenes, but it was kind of... Kids in general are cringy, so it kind of made sense.
That's why
Richie was funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's why there was a few scenes where Richie would make a joke, and I'd just be like, ugh.
Yeah, and when he keeps talking about your mom, but I'm like, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of irritating, but I'm like, that's literally how kids talk. Like, I remember being 12, and we used to tell that's what she said
the
jokes.
Same joke over and over.
You do tell yo mama jokes, and that's what she said. Yeah. For me as a kid, that was the go-to joke, even though a lot of us didn't even get it. It was just that's what she said. And so, that's kind of the type of character he was. And he was funny. Like, the performance was good. It was... All of them were really good.
Beverly was also really good. Like,
she was.
Being the only girl, she did a really good job. Like, especially with they handled her story, transferring it from the book to the movie. It was really... They didn't
go very far with the whole abuse thing.
There was a lot of implications.
It was implied. Everything was implied. I mean, even the miniseries went farther with, like, she actually gets slapped in the miniseries, and here it was all implied, which is fine. I didn't need.
Well, because it's already like a 2:15 movie. Like,
no, that would have been too much. Like, we didn't need that. But
the implications was good enough.
Yeah, all those kids were great. The characters were great. Pennywise was awesome.
He was my star of the fucking movie. Yeah, because it was just so
absolutely.
Because a lot of the things he does in the movie should be comedic, and maybe to some people they are comedic, but I think to a lot of the audience it's kind of scary. Like, when he's looking at Billy, he's like, "This is not real enough for you." Or even the part where he dances, like, that's really stupid. But I wasn't.
It works
laughing.
For me, yeah.
I wasn't laughing.
I was laughing, but it wasn't laughing because I thought it was funny. It was laughing because I'm like, "Oh, that's so fucked up that they went there." So I was laughing through.
Yeah,
a lot.
I know. Like the part he has the baby hand, he's waving it around.
My favorite scene in the entire movie is when they're in the house for the first time. And they see the 3 doors, and on there it's written "not very scary" or "not scary at all," "kind of scary," "really scary."
Okay.
And the kids, obviously being dumb kids, they go to the not scary one. Like,
and then the girl gets sliced.
I just thought that was funny.
Like, oh my God.
So as soon as I saw the doors, I just cracked up.
Yeah, my favorite scene is probably the one where he comes out of the fridge and he recontorts himself and he does his little towards Eddie.
Yeah, where he's kind of fucking with him a little bit.
Like, again, that looks funny, but you're not laughing because you're like, this kid is literally going to get murdered by this clown.
He's about to get murdered, and Pennywise is still memeing out.
Exactly.
And
he's like, he's like, yeah, and then the following scene after where they stab him in the head, and then he retreats off to his lair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking masterful. Like, there's so many scenes in this movie.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
It's probably my second favorite of the year. It's up there, certainly.
Yeah. No, it is. To me, it's there's still a few too many things, like dumb moments, dumb scares, and cheesy scenes where I'm like, yeah, it kind of bogs it down a bit.
Yeah, well, even that was the surprising thing to me, is because I thought there was going to be a lot more stupid shit in there than it was. But even the Yo Float 2, where he's using him as a puppet, that was actually kind of creepy. And then he does this little towards him, and then he falls on the step, and then I'm like, oh god, that was actually really well done. Like, that was a lot more
it wasn't as cringe as the trailer made it out to be. Yeah, I don't know. I do love this movie. I thought it was great. I love this film.
Me personally, I love this film. 8 out of 10.
Personally, I love this film.
7 out of 10.
Did I mention I love this film?
It's too dark.
No, it is a good movie. I really fucking love this movie. And so
it's so much better than it had any right to be. And that was reflected in the box office, which led Warner Brothers
fucking slayed. Like it's the biggest horror movie of all time. Literally.
Well,
which is crazy.
Exactly. Like, that's nuts. You think about this crazy clown movie. That's like, I mean, Stephen King. But that's what led Warner Brothers to greenlight a sequel, which comes out in 2019, September, and they haven't announced any casting yet. I don't even know if they have a finished script.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing.
They announced it
in the book and the miniseries. The most interesting part of the story has always been when they're kids.
Yeah,
that's what people remember. Like that, because that's kind of the heart of the story.
Exactly.
In the book, it's done in a way where it's not like you have the kids part and then you have the adults part. It's like cut in between.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Which, you get something that happens to them when they're kids, and then you see the parallel of when they're older. And so it kind of, the two parts play off of each other.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest fear about this movie is it going to be as fun as the first one?
No.
Is it going to have the same heart?
It's certainly going to be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I trust this director, because he made Mama, which was okay, but this movie really established this director, Andy
Muschietti. Andreas Muschietti, I think.
It really established him, because he's coming back to direct. I think the entire crew's coming back. They're even bringing back the kids for some flashbacks, they said.
Yeah.
So... And I don't know, like, are they going to front load this cast? Like, are they going to have Ben Affleck play Ben? Or are they going to have Bill Hader in there? Or Jessica Chastain? Like, are they going to front load the cast? Or are they going to just give a bunch of nobodies again? Like,
we'll see. My only wish is Bill Hader as Richie. That's it. I saw one interview with the cast, and they asked the kids, like, who would you want to see you play? And Finn Wolfhard was like, I think Bill Hader. And I was like... Yes. No, Bill Hader, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So Bill Hader, Affleck, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, because Affleck. Ben apparently gets slim and successful later.
He does, yes.
So, and that's Ben Affleck.
Who can be as successful as Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck is the golden boy at Warner Brothers, or at least he was. They should get Clint Eastwood in there somehow too.
Who would he play?
I don't know. Just
fill
a role for him.
Clint Eastwood.
He's cool enough.
Yeah, no, I'm down for Clint Eastwood. He's like way older than all of them.
Yeah, he's like 90 years old, but he could play Beverly's dad maybe.
That'd be good. No.
Unless he's dead now.
I could see that.
Unless he's dead now.
Hey,
girl, come over here.
In the book, he's dead at that point. So,
okay. Well, I think even in the movie he was. I think he was killed by that.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no idea if he was killed there or...
That's the thing. That movie did take liberties with the source material. Yeah. It's not really the book. Like, I would say the miniseries is actually more accurate to the book by quite a bit, which isn't a bad thing. But the miniseries, everything in the miniseries is in the book. Yeah. Not necessarily everything in the book is in the miniseries, but they basically stuck to the story. The first movie the new It movie took a lot of liberties with it and was doing its own thing. It kind of took the general premise of the book and then just went crazy with it.
Exactly.
I think part 2 is probably going to do that. Yeah. That's what makes me interested, is because it's like, how is this going to differ from what happens in the book? I'm sure there'll be some similarities, but...
also, because it's in the smartphone age. Like, it's in modern times.
Yeah.
Which is that's a very interesting change.
They moved, because in the original, the stuff when they're kids is in the 50s.
And then 80s.
And now it's in the 80s, because 80s is big now. And also... I don't think it was like, let's capitalize on 80s nostalgia. No. I think it was mainly... it kind of seems like that because they have, the kid from Stranger Things is in it, and it's 80s, and it's whatever, but I really don't think that's what it was. It was coincidence. I think really this was... they just wanted to set part 2 in modern time, so they figured, let's move it to the 80s, because they didn't want to be bothered with having to keep 80s continuity.
Yeah.
So that's cool, and I'm just curious to see...
what direction they go.
Where this... because that's one of the things I liked about the first one is since it went so far away from the book, I didn't know what was going to happen. It's not like I was like, oh, now this is going to happen. This scene is going to happen. It was like, it was completely different. And so that's why I'm kind of excited for the second one. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find a way to make it interesting. In the original, in the book, it kind of felt like there was more stuff with them as kids, and the stuff with adults was like, it was just there to kind of build off of them as kids, basically.
To work with the theme, obviously.
To work with the theme of coming back to face something. So we'll see how different it is from...
Yeah, we'll see who gets casted, because that's one of the things I'm most excited to see. Like
if they go with nobodies or if they go with established actors. Bill Hader, that's literally my only thing.
Yeah, I mean, market, the cold open of this movie is going to be Pennywise, that scene from the book where they're at the fair and then the gay guy gets killed and then Pennywise kills those other people. That's the cold open of this movie.
I think so.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, no, it'll be like that. You'll have a scene where it's like they're like, come on, let's go, and it'll be like that.
That's how the movie opens.
And then Pennywise shows up. There's some crazy scare, and then it says "It Chapter 2."
It's the reemergence of Pennywise. Book it.
Yeah, no, that's what.
I mean, it's pretty obvious because that's the first time he shows up when they're adults in the book.
Yeah, that's him coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to take some liberties though with
tons of liberties. Well, there's already stuff that they've done in the first movie that would make it so they couldn't do.
Like Henry Bowers.
They seem to have killed off Henry Bowers pretty clearly.
But like, is that how Pennywise is gonna come back? Because he's feeding off Henry's fear. Is that how he's gonna come back to life?
I don't know, something.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like Henry's dead though. I mean, I don't know how you'd bring him back because he's a psycho who killed his dad and he carved.
That was a weird.
Bed.
That was a weird. No, it'd be kind of awkward if they didn't bring him back. It's like, well, then what was the point of that?
Yeah,
because in the book, the whole idea, his arc is that he ends up working for Pennywise.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then they can obviously bring him back.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what happened with his character. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, no, because like the whole thing of kill them all, like in the book.
In
the book, Pennywise is using Henry to fuck with the losers.
I didn't know when he was older that he was also controlling them. I didn't know that.
Well, it's in the miniseries too.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he comes back.
That's a blur.
It's like him in the insane. No, he's in the insane asylum because he was.
Oh yeah.
He was attributed to all the Pennywise murders.
Okay, yeah,
they said that he did it, and then he was in the insane asylum, and then Pennywise comes to him and tells him to go.
Oh yeah, he's
them.
in the moon or something.
Yeah, Pennywise goes and tells him to go kill them. And then he gets out and shit. Okay. So we'll see if they do anything with Henry Bowers. He's pretty clearly dead, though. Like
Pennywise also has magical powers, and he's like a weird alien thing. So he can find something.
We'll see where that goes. I'm really curious to see.
Well, I mean, particularly September 6th or something, 2019.
I hope they're not just shitting it out.
Like that's so close.
I hope they're not shitting it out. Yeah. Wait, when's it coming out?
September 6th, 2019.
2019. Okay. Yeah. Well. It seems pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean it's a little under 2 years away, so
they could pull it off in that time. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, it's not like a $100,000 million movie. Like it's just a short, probably like $40-50 million movie.
Yeah,
depending on what cast they get.
Well, I'm super excited no matter what because the first one was great. It was so much fun.
It
was tons of fun. It's still in theaters though, right?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, it's doing very well.
Yeah, so go see it. I'm sure everyone's seen it.
Yeah, because we literally just spoiled it for you, like some of what happened.
Yeah, fuck spoiler warnings. If you wanted to see them, if you're watching this, you've seen the movie, and if you haven't, fuck you.
Exactly. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. There's been a lot of go fuck yourselves this episode. A lot of gay advice
because we're so edgy, man.
Exactly. A lot of gay advice.
Another edgy talk show.
Exactly. Another political talk show.
Yeah, we're this is probably the edgy edition of the show, honestly.
Yeah, we talk about things that actually aren't that edgy, but we're considered edgy for some reason.
We should be like the edgy show. I think we are. Can we call ourselves the edgy?
I guess. Another edgy talk show.
We're also edgy because we're too cool to talk about Star Wars, man.
And
even though we talked about it last time, man.
And Black Panther, too cool.
MCU and Star Wars now. Anyway, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's scary. Jump scare. I'm good. Spy.
is just getting stupid now.